This is Friday Night Lights with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Honda of the Desert.
That, of course, our Week 11 rewind. I don't know where the fall season went. It had come and gone. We are knee-deep in the playoff action here. Numerous teams across the valley and beyond. I'm Tim O'Brien along with Talia Latoy. Thanks for joining us tonight on Friday Night Lights. Brought to you by Honda of the Desert. We hear you. Ton of games to unpack. Might as well just get right into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. And we begin in La Quinta, where the Blackhawks face a visiting Granite Hill squad from Apple Valley. Both teams feature high-powered offenses who average roughly 35 points a game on paper, and this track meet had track meet written all over it, Tim. So now let's head on and talk about it. If you were a fan of old Arena Football League, well, you would have loved this game. Both teams flexed their offensive muscles all night long. It was tough bringing this Blackhawk down. Number 16, Isaiah Alvarado, but first points on the board were by number 3, Aiden Subuga. Extra point good. La Quinta strikes first to get on the board. However, Granite Hills would move those chains all the way down the field to the goal line, and the Cougars would strike right back. But Isaiah Alvarado and the Blackhawks weren't going down without a fight, and after a moment, these offensive just lit up the field. We'd be here all night if we showed you every touchdown, but the action was flowing up and down the field all night long. A high-scoring game. The final 61-48 Blackhawks.
Remember now the importance of this at the end of this show. Remember La Quinta and remember this score. We mean that for a reason. Up the road in Indio, where the Rajas hosted Montebello in the CFI Division 12 bracket. Indio coming off the hard-fought loss to Coachella, while the visiting Oilers of Montebello had 3 straight losses coming into tonight's game. So it certainly fared well for Indio. The Rajas made 6 fourth-down stops in the second half, but couldn't move the ball themselves. With 1 minute on the clock, the Rajas finally did break through, though. That's senior quarterback Fabian Garcia, 40-plus yards using his legs down the sideline, sliding into the end zone. Now remember this for a second, because the Rajas would score, but they go and miss this extra point, making it 15-7, setting up for Montebello to have the ball. The Rajas defense would collapse, and they would let up the long touchdown. But after the score, this is the 2-point conversion. You'll see just hold on for dear life, but it makes the difference. They tie the game and would go ahead and force overtime. Before they get to overtime, though, Indio would go ahead and try to make this kick. This was well over 40 yards, comes up about 20 yards short. All good. We're going to head to overtime. Both teams would exchange blows in overtime. The Rajas would go ahead first, and that is, go up there for a second, Tolly, other way, that's Dominic Moran, there you go. He would go ahead and get to punch it in. They go up, but this is important again, because they missed the extra point. This time it's blocked from Montebello. It makes it 21-15. Now Montebello would go ahead and punch the ball in here to tie the game at 21. All they need to do is kick the extra point, which they do. Montebello walks it off 22-21, heartbreak fashion for the Rajas. I feel so bad for Coach Hayes and the group of Rajas at Indio. But, you know, you can learn when in time of defeat. You don't feel it and don't realize it tonight, but you can certainly grow from a game like this.
That's crazy. Yeah, Tim, that's just really tough. A lot of heartbreaks tonight, but we're going to get to them.
Just getting started here tonight on Friday Night Lights. Palm Springs hosting Paloma Valley at Ralph Watts Stadium. Could the Indians bounce back after last week's loss to Palm Desert? We're going to find out.
And up next, the Mighty Arabs looking to keep the momentum going as they hosted Diamond Bar in Thermal. You're watching Friday Night Lights on NBC Palm Springs. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights. Tim, exciting times. Let's talk about where I was at today, our DVL champs. Let's head out to Thermal because the Mighty Arabs were having one of the most exciting seasons in recent memory, and we know that because we've been at nearly all of those games.
They've been unstoppable all year.
Exactly. So let's just get right into it because a beautiful night in the East Valley, but it would not be enough for... It would not be a beautiful start for Coachella. Diamond Bar hit the ground running. Literally, that's Zay Young for the Brahmas. The visiting team would follow up with the air attack up over the middle. That's quarterback Ryan Lewis hitting Maddox Bernardino. That would be a very popular target for the night. Quick score, they take the lead, and they stretch that with this Wildcat formation right here. Another tutty by the wide receiver, but he just ran that one in. And it just keeps on getting worse from here after all. Coachella really tried to keep up and make use of Aaron Ramirez. We told you Aaron 2K was making it back, but just wasn't going to be enough. Coachella really tried to get things going, but just offensively was not working. They get that field goal before heading into the locker rooms at halftime, 3-14, but Diamond Bar came out firing in the second half. Bernardino, again, they're beginning to pull away. It was just a rough night for the Arabs, but Aaron Ramirez would get a late touchdown in the fourth, but it's a little too late. They are eliminated from the playoffs, Tim. Diamond Bar takes this one 41-10. Just a tough pill to swallow tonight.
It's just one of those games that you don't want to see, especially to lay the egg like this in the playoffs when it means the most. But it's no representation of this team, the program, the coach by any means.
And we love Coach Johnson and everyone else over at the Mighty Arabs. So this is what Coach Johnson had to say after that disappointing game.
We set goals. We wanted to advance. We didn't get that result tonight. I'm proud of these guys, man. You know, I know how hard they work, and this is a group whose work ethic is something I'll be proud of forever. You know what I mean? That's sports, man. Sometimes you go up against a tough opponent, you don't have the night you need to have, they have the night they need to have, and they get you. And, right? And then they move on and we stop. But, you know, it's not the definition of these guys and their character. They played great. They had great character. They worked hard in the classroom. They worked hard in the weight room, okay? And they set an example for these younger guys, especially talking about the seniors. Set an example for the younger guys, you know, who are coming up and understand, hey, we've got to, if we want to be great, if we want to take it to that next level, it's a work ethic that they need to take on and they need to embrace, and they'll do it. Made some mistakes early and got behind a bit and just weren't able to kind of get the engine started to get to rally back. You know, I think, you know, I don't think that team is 41-10 better than us, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, I got a hats off to Diamond Bar. They came in here, they had a game plan, they ran it. We had our game plan, they outplayed us, and that's how it goes, you know what I mean?
Tough night, Tim.
That's somebody you want to play for them. I've got chills right now, just the way that the positive attitude, the way he spun that, and look, he's building a heck of a program there.
And hugging everyone, you know, just watching the seniors hug him tonight was really heartbreaking just to watch, but big night.
Yeah, look, Aaron Ramirez is only a sophomore this year, so we have 2 more years of that kid running up and down the valley. So we're looking forward to that. Turning to Ralph Watts Stadium in Palm Springs now, the Indians coming off their loss to Palm Desert, looking to bounce back and advance in the CFI Division 7 tournament against the Paloma Valley Wildcats from Menifee. So far, only 1 team has gotten in from the Valley. A very quiet first half. The Indians' defense doing its part to keep the Wildcats off the board. The Indians would go into the half with a 3-0 lead off the foot of senior kicker Carlos Navarro. Completely different story now in the second half. Palm Springs would get on the board first with the keeper from Fabian Galvez after the extra point. The Indians were up 10-0. Then the next set of downs. Remember quarterback Javen Kapler, who's had a heck of a season. He would find his groove. He's going to air one out down the sidelines. Deep ball to Derek Lopez. Makes a nice grab. Falls into the end zone for the quick 6. Touchdown after the extra point. Indians are up 17-0. Paloma Valley Wildcats would wake up, though, after their quick score. They would get the ball again. Running back Steven Gallegos would start to heat up as well. He would punch one and make it 17-14, and he wasn't done just yet. Palm Springs would try to answer back. Kapler finds Damon Lee for another long ball and a prayer. 24-14 Indians. They're feeling good about themselves at Ralph Watt, but Christian Gallegos again makes it 24-21, punches it through, and then again 28-24, punches it through. After the extra point, 28-24, the Wildcats take their first lead, and they wouldn't give it up. The Indians gave up 22 points, Tally, in the fourth quarter, and lose an absolute tough one at Ralph Watts Stadium tonight in Palm Springs.
Talk about a heartbreak. I think this one was just crazy stuff.
Some rough losses here tonight in the Valley. Coming up next, though, Palm Desert on the road. They were one of the teams on the road tonight at San Juan Hills. The Aztecs representing the Coachella Valley in the Division 6 of the CIF playoffs.
Looking good!
Welcome back, guys. And finally, we've been talking about heartbreaks. Now let's talk about maybe it'll stop. Well, finally, Palm Desert taking their share of the DEL title on the road in the CIF's Division 6 bracket. This was being billed as the battle at the Badlands, the Aztecs in San Juan Capistrano taking on the San Juan Hills High School from the Seaview League. Now let's get right into it. A fired-up San Juan Stallions team would prove to be too much for the visiting Aztecs. They racked up numerous big plays on this night. San Juan standout wide receiver Christopher Williams taking this pass all the way to the house. You see that the crowd absolutely loses it. Too fast for the camera to keep up. Then there was this, an 85-yard run by number 4, Colton Chase. Explosive plays all night long by San Juan Hills. Palm Desert just couldn't get anything going on either side of the ball. And here's another big play by receiver Colton Chase, catching this nice ball by quarterback Michael Butter Tollefson. What a name, Tim. And it was like a hot knife through butter all night long for the Aztecs defense. Final score, San Juan Hills 35, Palm Desert 0.
I thought the only Butter around here was producer Rob's dog, but that's about,
we love Butter. She's famous.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the final scores from tonight's action. San Juan Hills over Palm Desert, Palm Springs falls to Paloma Valley, La Quinta over Granite Hills, Coachella Valley falls to Diamond Bar, Yucca Valley down to South Pasadena, and Montebello over Indio. The La Quinta Blackhawks, the only team to make it into round 2.
1 for 6. 1 for 6. Big heartbreaks tonight, guys.
Yeah. But look, we're going to continue to follow La Quinta's run. We'll have a recap show of the season when this is all said and done right before Thanksgiving. So stay with us every step of the way. For Tali Latoy, I'm Tim O'Brien. Thanks for joining us tonight on Friday Night Lights, sponsored by Honda of the Desert. We hear you. We'll see you back here next Friday. Good night.